President Trump says he's cutting off trade talks with neighbour Canada immediately. It's over plans by the Canadians to enforce a new tax targeting big tech companies, which is predicted to cost them more than $7 billion over the next 5 years. Both US Republicans and Democrats have criticised the levy as it mainly affects American companies such as Google and Amazon. Mr. Trump said he would announce
tech companies today trying to copy Europe. They copied Europe. It's not going to work out well for Europe either, and it's not going to work out well for Canada. They were foolish to do it. And so I said we're going to stop all negotiations with Canada right now until they straighten out the...
Donald Trump just dropped a political bombshell, canceling U.S. trade with Canada. You heard that right. Our neighbor, our ally, our largest trading partner, cut off. Why? Because Trump says it's time for America to stop being Canada's doormat. Before we dive into the full story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. It all started with a post on Truth Social. Trump didn't go to the press. He didn't hold a press conference. He just typed, "We have just been informed that Canada, a very difficult country to trade with, including the fact that they have charged our farmers as much as 400% tariffs for years on dairy products, has just announced that they are putting a digital services tax on our American technology companies, which is a direct and blatant attack on our country. They are obviously copying the European Union, which has done the same thing and is currently under discussion with us also. Based on this egregious tax, we are hereby terminating all discussions on trade with Canada, effective immediately. We will let Canada know the tariff that they will be paying to do business with the United States of America within the next 7-day period. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Why would Trump target Canada, of all countries? According to insiders, Trump's been fuming for weeks about dairy tariffs, energy disputes, and what he calls Trudeau's globalist pandering. Let's hear from the Economic Council of America, Kevin Hassett.
We're going to face a trade war with Canada over digital services taxes. Joining us, National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett. Kevin, thank you. So the president was tough on Canada at his press conference today. The battle is over digital services tax on our great technology companies. I don't know why Canada is being so stubborn. We've stopped negotiating with them, according to the president. What can you tell us?
Well, we spoke with the Prime Minister about this at the G7 meeting last week. We urged them to delay, they were setting a multi-billion-dollar tax bill to our big high-tech companies on the 30th of June. And we said, delay it for 30 days while we're negotiating, and they refused to. And the digital service tax is an extraterritorial, really, almost criminal act, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're taxing American companies who don't necessarily even have a presence in Canada. Mm-hmm. And so and it's a 3% of revenue tax, not profits, revenue. And so it just doesn't make sense that they could do that. The only reason it doesn't violate our tax treaty with Canada is they're claiming it's not an income tax. It's a revenue tax. I mean, can you imagine how preposterous this is?
That is preposterous.
And we spoke, but anyway, the point is they're going to have to remove it. They're going to have to remove it, and I think they know that.
Apparently, a recent closed-door report showed that U.S. farmers and manufacturers were getting the short end of multiple deals, and Trump wasn't having it. He reportedly told aides, "Canada's been smiling in our face while stabbing our economy in the back." Cue the outrage. Justin Trudeau held a hastily arranged press conference where he looked visibly shaken. He called the move reckless, irresponsible, and a betrayal of international norms. Meanwhile, Biden's camp is silent. Not a peep, but Trump allies? Oh, they're cheering. Senator J.D. Vance tweeted, "Trump just did in 10 seconds what career politicians haven't done in 40 years. Put America first. Period." Markets are panicking. Wall Street saw a 900-point dip. Canadian exports are in limbo. American automakers relying on Canadian aluminum are already warning of price spikes. And guess what? Trump doesn't care. He posted again, "Let the markets panic. Let the lobbyists cry. I work for Americans, not hedge funds." Constitutional scholars are debating whether a president can single-handedly cancel trade like this.
Yeah, hey, Tim. So he's pointing to the fact that Canada is looking into this digital services tax. This is something that the White House has long been against when it comes to countries that impose them. Normally it comes up in our discussions about those European Union member nation states, but we do know that this is something that has been at the top of the list for the White House with Canada too. And we should keep in mind that Canada is sort of on a different sort of negotiating track. They weren't up against that July 9th deadline because we had already seen those tariffs go into effect before so-called Liberation Day, that 25% tariff across the board. So now President Trump says that he's going to put into effect a rate in the next 7 days, and we're going to have to see what that actually ends up coming to fruition, what that would look like, because there's a lot of different factors when it does come into the negotiations with Canada, including those sector-specific tariffs. Our original understanding of the Section 232 tariffs was that they weren't going to be part of the broader tariff conversation, such as on autos or on steel, but perhaps that could play some sort of role here going forward, since we know that is something that Canada had been pushing on, but at the moment it seems like this White House is stopping all negotiations.
But Trump? He's always thrived in the gray zone. He's using emergency economic powers, citing national security, and daring anyone, Congress, courts, Canada, to stop him. This move has MAGA Nation fired up. On Twitter, hashtags like Buy Canada and Trump Trade War are trending. Rallies are already being planned. Supporters are calling it the new Declaration of Economic Independence. And conservative influencers, they're loving it. One even said, Trump just did more to shake up the globalist cartel than the last 10 presidents combined. The big question is this a real trade war or just a strategic flex? Some analysts say Trump is playing hardball, forcing Canada back to the table on his terms. Others warn this could do long-term damage to U.S. farmers, truckers, and manufacturers. But here's the catch. Trump's not running from controversy. He's running on it. Love him or hate him, one thing's clear. Trump just reminded the world he doesn't play by the old rules. He's rewriting the book on diplomacy, trade, and presidential power, one shockwave at a time. So what do you think? Genius negotiation or dangerous isolation? Drop your thoughts below. And don't forget, if you're sick of media spin and love raw debates like this, hit subscribe. See you in the next one.